from town to town with a horse trailer dragging behind. Just a cowboy lost in a modern world. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Not a day goes by, don't think about how my life used to be. Now I'm out of my prime and I'm losing time, and nobody's calling for me. They used to call my name come roundup time. Now the four-wheelers takes my place, and the cowboy life that I've always loved is getting lost without a trace. But I won't give up and I won't give in. I'm a cowboy till I die. And I know there's got to be a place for me underneath big western sky. Headed out west, gonna do my best to leave the civilized world behind. Just me, my saddle, and an honest horse will try to go back in time, where surely there'd be a warm campfire or a bunkhouse calling my name. But tonight I'll sleep in my pickup truck, 'cause I'm still not playing their game. The world may turn, but the thing they can't change is the way I feel inside. A prairie fire may burn itself out, but you can't snuff a cowboy's pride. I'll be what I am and I'll do what I do. This life is worth fighting for. Yeah, the cowboy life is alive for me and 10,000 more. The cowboy life is alive for me.
Welcome back to True to Horse Horsemanship. This is about a little boy's journey. It's a special video. And this is the first time I'm filming the beginning at the end. A special video for me. And it's just about that pony. That's all it is. About a little boy and his pony. So I hope you enjoyed it. And because it was a heartfelt video. And I guess it's one for thanks for everything. So hope you enjoy it. And take care. There's a story about a young boy and his love for horses and what it turned into. You know, he was fortunate. His dad did encourage him to ride his ponies. You remember as a young kid, his first experience on a pony ride when his dad took him to a pony ride, but it wasn't your normal. It was cotton ropes made up as a fence, and the young boy remembered the freedom that he felt riding that pony, because the pony it could stop if it wanted to or keep moving. And that's where all it began, on that first pony ride. On that first pony ride, he kept, fantasizing about horses and things, and as years went by, he kept, hoping one day he'd have a pony of his own. But little did he know in the future, as that little 4-year-old, that he would. And that brings us to the first pony, named Dusty, which led to Dusty. If that little boy, his dad brought that pony home in the back of a Buick, And I mean in the back seat. He took the seat out and put it in the trunk, and that's how he hauled that pony home. You know, when that pony jumped out of the back seat, it was a long-haired, shaggy-looking thing, blind in one eye, and also had hoofs, had elf hoofs. But to that young boy, he was the prettiest thing he's ever seen. Though he know that little pony named Dusty would put that young boy on a journey. And it's been a long one. And it was a long one. Ups and downs. But as that older man looks back, I don't think he'd changed much. As Dusty was a special pony to that young boy. They taught him a lot. And that's where a lot of his training methods as he got older it came from. I know as one time after he grew up, somebody asked him, "Who did you get certified under?" And he said, "I got certified under horses." You know, and that's where that young man by that time learned everything. And it all was a start from Dusty. Dusty was a special little pony to that young man, and he looked with a broken heart and sorrow, but happiness at the same time. And Dusty, you know, that's where that little boy learned how to move the hip on a horse. Dusty would get stubborn, and little boy learned that from the start. Don't push him into it, just pick up his nose and move that hip. And anything he's seen on television, he'd get Dusty to do. I mean, there's never a dull moment between them two. And they spent a lot of miles on out in the open. And the little boy likes to think that Dusty loved him as much as he loved that pony. And like I said, that's where it all started. And he's got a lot, because of that little pony, Dusty, little boy got his first paying gig. Neighbor saw him one time and said, "I'll give you $10 to ride 2 ponies." Mind you, the boy's only about 8 years old at the time, so he couldn't believe somebody's going to pay him $10 to ride those ponies. So he did. Loved every minute of it. And that's where, you know, it just sort of starts snowballing. I know next one was the Hackney Quarter Horse Cross, and a fellow named Pop Rule went and picked it up and hauled it for the little boy. And by now, he's probably about 11 years old. And took it home. Pony, it wasn't broke. Horse wasn't broke. So he got him riding it and everything. And Pop Rule saw him one day and said, "You know, I see you riding that pony." So I, to be honest, I told your dad not to get it, because I told him that horse is going to kill you. He said, "I can't believe you're riding it." So he had a few, he sold horses on the side, so he had a few that needed ridden, so he started having the boy come over and ride his horses. And, you know, he went to a couple horse shows and decided he wanted to do it. So he grabbed that horse, rode it 15 miles to another town where it was showing, let the horse stay overnight, picking it out, because they had friends that was close to the showgrounds. And then the next day he went over and showed. Didn't do worth a dang, but the boy didn't care. I mean, he got showing, that's all. And after he got done, he rode that little horse 15 miles back home. Now here's a picture of it at his first show. this one thing, say his dad supported into, and he loved it. And like I said, he didn't do well, but he didn't care. He loved what he was doing. And time went on, that little horse cross, he bred it to an App stud, which came along Scout. Scout was a special horse in himself. He was a little stud horse, and once again, he had to teach us how to rear up and do all kinds of things. Actually, Scout he taught him how to fall down at a canter on cue, because at one point, this teenager was a stuntman. And unfortunately, never had a chance, but he still learned how to do them. And Scout, like I said, was a special horse in himself. And he rode that thing all over the place. He showed him. And Scout wasn't fast, but he did good. I know one of the proudest moments that young man had was a fellow named Robert Cunningham was at a show and saw him running barrels with that stud horse. And he asked him, said, "Who trained that horse?" And the kid just smiled ear to ear and said, "I did." And Robert told him, said, "You did a good job." You know, that brings up something else before I forget about. You know, with Dusty, his grandfather saw him playing with Dusty one day, and he looked at him and said, "You know, you keep being good to that pony, and he'll be good to you." So, which, have to keep that in mind, because that comes into play at some point. You know, so, like I said, he showed Scout, hauled him. Even though he was a stud, he hauled him with other horses and everything, and Scout never acts steady. I mean, and that's where a lot of it goes back to the foundation with Dusty. That boy learned, Scout started talking, he moved the hip, got him busy. So Scout was a special horse. You know, that young man, through his life, he's had a lot of good horses. But all that foundation, I'm going to keep going back to Dusty. He owes it back to Dusty. As I was saying, Scout was a special horse on his own. Here's a picture of him rearing up, young man. And, you know, he didn't have much, but he loved what he was doing. So, you know, like I said, with Scout, that seemed like that led somewhere else. There's a local legend called Mr. Smithpot in the county, and well, there was a palmetto named Jody that Mr. Smithpot was having trouble with. She'd buck all of a sudden. So, you know, his daughter asked David if he wanted to come and help Mr. Smithpot with Jody and maybe show it a little bit. And of course, he was tickled to death. You know, he gets to ride something that's got a little stink to it, and he got to show. So those two things he enjoyed a lot. So, you know, and plus he got to work with Mr. Smithpot. That was another dream he had. It was just for a short time, but the boy looks back and he learned something from it. And as long as you keep learning from it, you're doing good. So, and that mare could buck. I know at one show, right before he went in, a young boy, a couple years younger than him, went in on a little pony and bucked like heck. And of course, everybody's clapping and everything because that little boy stayed on that pony, a little pink pony. So that young man, teenager by now, or preteen, he went in there with Jody, and Jody bucked, and she bucked hard. Now this is how that fella thought about it. He didn't worry about Jody bucking. He was waiting to hear the applause. But I think people say, well, that's just him, and that's where it gets. He never did get the applause. To this day, I don't think he's ever got the applause. But, that's the way it is. And Mr. Smith-Bott was a special person. As he looks back, he wished he worked with Mr. Smith-Bott longer, but it is what it is. Mr. Smith-Bott, like I said, was a local legend. Here's a picture of him and Jody. And I don't even know how much trouble that horse gave me. Well, gave the boy. He still loved him. He didn't care. Now we're going to speed it up some, skip a few years, and the next special horse that came above was Smoky Joe, a lap stud, who ended up being his partner for many years. He helped him and that horse were together, like I said, many years. He helped start so many horses, it's unreal. And Smoky could do it all. Here's a picture of the first article that he did with Smoky Joe. Like I said, they were thick and thin. He had them up till Smoky's death when he was about 27 years old. And once again, a special horse, which comes back to his grandfather. By this time, the young man thinking, catchphrases was getting popular, and he felt like he needed one. So he thought one day about what his granddad said: "You keep being true to that pony, keep being good to that pony, he'll be good to you." So the young man changed that around. You be true to a horse, they'll be true to you. And that's where that phrase came from. It was from way back when, and it all goes back to Dusty and his grandfather at that time. So, it's just never ending. Everything he can go back. He can look back, and it goes back to Dusty, that little pony. So, and from there, one thing he learned through the years, he didn't get stuck just doing one thing. He did reining. He liked jumping. And all of it. Like I say, he liked all of it. He loved reining. To get a horse soft in the mouth and slide and everything, this Mustang here, or he loved jumping. He never got stuck. And he loved upper dressage. He learned dressage. He made a point, learn everything that he could along the way. And of course, Smoky could do tricks, so he loved that. So it was never ending. And then Smoky worked cows. He could do it all. He could jump, cross country, stadium. But like I said, all never quit. Like I said, never quits. You never stop learning. And as an old man looks back now, he's rode some good horses. Of course, by now you know I'm talking about myself. This is a little bit of my journey. I don't have much in this world, and I'll leave with not much in this world. I've struggled, I've fought, and everything. I've never had luxury of big sponsors, or I wouldn't kiss nobody's butt to get a certain spot. I am who I am. Because not only should you be true to the horse, you should be true to yourself. And at this age, I'm going through a stage. I don't know what it is yet. I'll figure it out. But, you know, through the years, I've trained teams. I've trained single in harness. I've trained reining, dressage, jumpers, everything. I loved it. And, you know, the young trainers, number one, you're not really, to me, good at your craft till you hit in your 40s, because it takes a lot of horses. But don't get stuck with one thing. I mean, and like I said, everything leads back to Dusty. Think about the harness thing. That led back to Dusty. The reining, I mean, that little pony do sliding stops, unreal. I'd wet the grass up, and I'd have him slide in the grass and see how far I could slide. I don't care how many views this video gets. This is a dedication to that little pony. I owe him a lot. Sorry. He was special to me. If it wasn't for Dusty, I wouldn't have been able to go on the journey that I've been on. I've met some good people. I've rode some damn good horses. And I've rode horses that wanted to hurt me. But one thing I've learned, talk loud and clear to the horse. At the end of the day, you'll be better off. The horses that want to hurt me, it's because somebody coddled them and babied them and everything else. It wasn't horses that were mistreated. It was the horses that were babied. You know, they're the ones that out to hurt me. But like I said earlier, you know, Dusty taught me how to move that hip. He taught me horse etiquette because I was riding a stud pony when I was a little kid. I found out what not to do and what to do. He taught me empathy. He taught me how to use my damn brains, which people need to do more of. So I got a lot to owe that little pony. Blind-eyed or whatever. Yeah, it's terrible. Cowboys don't cry, right? I will be seeing him one day. I hope no time soon, but we'll be back together. So you parents out there, you know, if your kid wants a pony and they really gung-ho on it, have them do the time. You don't know where that pony might lead that little fella or a girl, don't matter. You know, it might be open a journey for them for the rest of their life. And that's one thing I can say. You know, my father, he did support me with the horses. Looking back, my family sacrificed a lot for my horses. And I appreciate it. I really do. Yeah, this is sort of a sentimental video. This one's more for me, I think, than anything. But, you know, it's, like I said, looking back on my life, you know, I've had my ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it's not been that, it could have been better, but it's not that bad. I've got a good woman in my life. I do what I want to do. So, can't ask for much more than that. I guess I ran my mouth enough now, haven't I? You get to see a side of me that you normally don't get to see. So, with that said, checking the clock. Gotta get out there and harness the horse up here shortly. Thank you to each and every one of y'all watch these videos. And y'all who do like watching these videos and see me run my mouth, like I said, you gotta owe it to Dusty and thank him. And maybe say an extra prayer for it. Alright, so as I always say, be true to a horse, they'll be true to you. Speak loud and clear to them. Gotta be true to yourself. And God bless y'all. And take care. And Merry Christmas.